Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this episode of NITRUS Talk. Today, we have with us Dr. Rajashree Vinod Bothale, who is from the batch of 1984 of NIT Raipur. And she served as a Deputy Director of Earth and Climate Sciences in ISRO for 36 years. In her vast experiences, she has done a lot of research and she has contributed to a lot of amazing things that are happening currently with ISRO. Uh, she was part of the 35th Indian scientific expedition to Antarctica, where she carried out research and had numerous experiences which she would be sharing with us. Also, she has written and authored a couple of books, one of which is Antarctica Coach. So I would do recommend that you guys all check it out. Over to you, Rajashree ma'am.
Thank you, Archit, and all the people who have joined, and probably many more. I feel who will be seeing it from the YouTube. Just a small advice: you could have recorded this in the morning and put up here, because as such the number of people are very less now who are viewing this live. Nevertheless, I am happy to join here, and thank you for inviting me to this particular group where you organize talks on different topic, and it's a really great initiative by NIT US alumnus. So coming to my talk, I'll be talking about Antarctica expedition. I was a member of 35th Indian scientific expedition to Antarctica, and since I am amongst the engineers, I little will talk about why this study on Antarctica it is necessary, followed by little bit about what work I did, and then the actual experience by way of showing certain photographs and certain videos. That is what way I plan for almost 45 to 50 minutes. How much you want, roughly?
Yeah, ma'am, around 45 to 50 minutes, and the last 10 minutes we can leave for questions and answers.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just share my PPT. Just give me a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because after that, I won't be visible. Any questions are, if they are there, you can put in the chat box. Probably we'll take up later. My PPT is visible.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am, it is.
Just 1 minute. Okay. So Antarctica expedition, my experience, and I've superannuated recently as Deputy Director, Earth and Climate Sciences area from National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad, which is a unit of Indian Space Research Organization. And this is my journey, which I experienced during the 35th Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica. सो वी ऑल नो अबाउट अंटार्कटिका. हम सब जानते हैं, और हमने गूगल मैप में या और अनदर मैप वी हैव सीन वेयर अंटार्कटिका इज. So if you see, it is the southernmost continent of the of our globe, and this is how Antarctica looks like on satellite image. It is all white, that is completely covered with ice and snow. And here I am showing you this part extended here. This is one satellite image of our one station, and this is the satellite image of another station, how they look like. We'll show more. So if we want to know what actually is Antarctica, it is the coldest planet. Here average temperature is minus 10 degrees centigrade along the coast, but if we go inland, it is minus 60 degrees centigrade. And the lowest recorded temperature without wind chill was minus 89 degrees centigrade at Watchtown. And if you consider the wind chill, it might go to minus 100 or minus 110 degrees centigrade. It's naturally the farthest continent. It's 965 kilometers from South America. From India, it is 12,000 kilometers. Antarctica is the stormiest continent because the three ocean, Indian, Atlantic, and Pacific Ocean, they meet all around Antarctica. And that is why so many storms are there which Antarctica faces. It is windiest continent because the katabatic winds, they blow up to 300 kilometer per hour from the interiors of the continent. So it is the windiest continent. Mind well, it is the highest continent. The average altitude of the continent is 2,300 meters because we know it is near the coast, so it is zero. And average is 2,300 meters, and highest is roughly around 4,600 meters. So it is the highest continent. And now they say that if the ice of the Antarctica melt, the sea level will rise by 56 meters. Okay, and it is the driest continent. Now it receives the snowfall, which is equivalent to similar to what we get the rainfall in Sahara Desert. So it is the driest continent. Most inaccessible continent because going there, staying there, it's very difficult. And roughly, if you see how many people they live there, so around 5,000 to 10,000 people during the summer months, and during winter, the population is 2,000. And there is no permanent settlement in Antarctica. There are no permanent natives of Antarctica. People go and come there. Now the question comes why people should study Antarctica, because Antarctica nowadays people can go as a tourist also. From South America, the ship goes, 7 days journey is there, which takes lakhs and lakhs of rupees they charge. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about why research is being done at Antarctica and why people study Antarctica. Antarctica is a unique part because it affects the global climate. Now it has, as I mentioned, that it has ocean all around and the atmosphere, which connects to the rest of the world. So now, which are the parameters which are affected or Antarctica affects them? So first is sea ice. Now, the thing is that the sea ice surface reflects the energy. I'm little bit going technical because I'm among the technical people. So we have the ice, and then what happens that the sea ice, it reflects the energy. Then second is that there is an algae which is part of the food web, which is required for the fish and the other animals. So it supports that ecosystem. And then sea ice is a barrier between the warm water below and also the cooler air above. So this air-sea interaction makes a total effect on the global climate. So one thing is that we should study the sea ice around Antarctica. Now, it affects the ocean currents. Now, what happens? The sea ice, whenever the ice is made, the salt is squeezed out. It goes below, that is the saline heavier water, it sinks to the bottom, and then it flows away from the continent. And then slowly, that whatever gap is created, that is filled by the clear water, less salty water, it moves towards the continent. So it is a big conveyor belt which carries heat, nutrient along with it. And it's a very long process. The effect of 1 year can be seen after many years. So ocean currents are responsible. Then naturally it stores world's most fresh water, and then the currents. It is surrounded by various currents of air and water, and then a great conveyor belt is formed. So what happens, as I mentioned in the previous figure, this belt transports the heat from the tropics to the poles, and then ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Now, oceans absorb carbon dioxide, and then once the carbon dioxide level increases increases, then more acidity comes, and then marine organisms get affected because of this acidification. And they say that by 2100, 98% of the emperor penguin colony, which are there in Antarctica, this is an emperor colony called Rookery. This is near Australian Davis Station. So they say that it will be half of the colony will be disappeared due to the changing climate and changing nature of the Antarctica. So when generally Antarctica studies are done, it is done about three types of ice. One is called the Antarctica ice. Second is called the icebergs, then sea ice, that is, which is the ice on the sea surface. And one thing is called shelf. Shelf are those areas which are connected to the ground, but there is a there is an ocean below and atmosphere above them. So they are affected by the warmer climate from the both side, from the atmosphere and also from the bottom. So we study, lot of studies are done there. Now, I call Antarctica as a pulsating continent. Why pulsating continent? Because the area of Antarctica gets doubled in winter. Here I am showing you one satellite image. It is from the scatterometer. Now here you can see that if you see this from January to December. Now, this center portion is the main continent of the Antarctica, and surrounding this, what a circular ring you can see, that is the sea ice. And as you see in January, February, it is less. January, February, it is less. March also, it is less. But as the winter starts approaching, because it is the southern continent, the sea ice comes all along the continent, and then you can see that by August, September, the area of the continent gets doubled. And this sea ice formation really affects the global climate. And if this reduces, the entire world is getting affected because of that. So when I went there, I had certain project with me. I wanted to take part in the expedition. So I submitted a project proposal to NCOR, that is National Center for Atmospheric and Ocean Research, Polar Research. Now it is POR, NCPOR, Goa, which is under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Then once we have to defend the project, once the defend is over, then the next thing starts. I'll talk about that. So in my project, I wanted to study many things. So I've taken some instruments. I've seen where the observation should be taken, on how I taken the different observations using the different instruments. Like I have taken the global penetration radar observations, snowfolk observations. I dug almost 20 pits there in the snow and ice. So that way we planned our entire path. Now, the instruments we used in that was the GPR, ground penetrating radar, that I took there, and also an instrument called snowfolk, which actually measures the snow property, that is the density and the liquid water content of the snow. So these are the instruments which I have used in my studies. Now, coming to the survey. So what way the survey has been done? Now, it was a big challenge, because when I talk about my experience, now here at this moment, when I'm showing this photograph, here I'm on an Antarctic Ocean, which is kilometers deep. And on top of that, there is almost 1.5 to 2 meter sea ice. And on top of that, there is a half a feet of snow is there. Always when we go on that, there is back up in mind, what if? What if the ice breaks? That question was always there. And first time when we went, it was a terrifying moment for me, because it has happened, because the summer had started. So the sea ice starts melting. What if it cracks because of the weight of the instrument, because of the weight of the snow scooter, or what? So and it has happened, because one Chinese contingent, they were doing during the start of this summer, and the sea ice broke and their entire vehicle went inside. And naturally, once you go inside, you cannot survive. Chances of survive, no question of survival. So with that, how to do the GPR study to cover a larger area? So what we did, we took a sledge, we tied the GPR instrument behind the sledge. The sledge was pulled by the snow scooter, and then slowly the snow scooter was pulled, the sledge was pulled, and the instrument was pulled, and then we took the observation. Now, even the tough book is there. You have to operate that tough book. The moment you remove the gloves, within no time your hands becomes frozen. Anyway, you all are in USA and Canada, you know about all these conditions. I need not tell about the winter, severe winter, which is there. But here, in cities and all, we are totally in different environment, and here we are in the pristine natural environment. So for long time, you cannot work outside. But still, with the challenge we took, and then we could take a lot of observations. Another one was that since I have to take the density of the snow and the wetness of the snow. So for that, I have to operate the snow fork. Now, snow fork instrument. So I had to dig a pit. Now again, digging a pit was a big challenge because it's hard, and then there will be so many. It's not very soft snow. It's very hard, compact snow, and there will be so many snow lenses will be there. So digging that, and then it should be large enough so that one person can go inside, put the instrument. So these were some of the challenges which we faced, and yes, challenges were there, but enjoyed also that how to overcome them with the help of this is my colleague, and we both did the survey during 35th, and then during 36th my another colleague went there. So this is another, you can see the vastness of the continent. Nothing and nothing is visible, only snow and ice. And this way we used to carry all our instruments, like you see here. So we had to carry everything with us in a small bag and then carry out the instruments. The research culminated into many papers, almost I think some 7, 8 papers I could do from the 2 years observation, like relationship between the melt and freeze. My idea was to identify where the how the melt conditions are there in snow and how the freeze conditions are there, and how using satellite data I can do the correlation, and I can find out. So like it is using the space bed observation and the field observation, understanding the relationship between the melt and freeze, and how satellite data is able to capture that. Similarly, since I have taken GPR, so what is the response of fast ice? Fast ice is the sea ice. So I took lot of observations on sea ice and how the fast ice responds to the GPR and the backscattering coefficients in the near Bharti station in Antarctica. And then I could do a lot of work in that. Similarly, the third point was that finding out the snow property, because I took the snow fork. So how we can find out the snow density using the satellite data. So I could publish a paper out of that. Similarly, how this snow melt is affected in the changing climate. So marine biology, how it gets affected because of this climate, and that this more snow melt. So this we could publish in another. Another one was that is the snow melt distribution in relationship with INSO. INSO is a condition. So this I could present in the international Astronautical Federation Congress in Vienna last day, sorry, in Norway last day. And so that paper we could do. So like that, lot of research work was there, and I was benefited because of that. And I really feel lucky that apart from enjoying the pristine continent, I could do lot of research and publish lot of papers out of that. So now, when I'm talking about the research work, I should talk about the challenges, because that is my real experience. And in the land of uncertainties, this I have given. I have given Antarctica the name as land of beauty and land of uncertainties, because anything can happen just anytime. So I call it as a land of uncertainty. You are suddenly going there, seeing something, and you will find that you cannot even see 1 meter or 2 meters apart because of the snow blizzard. People get lost, people get died in that. So a lot of uncertainties are there. Now, as I mentioned, arranging surveys, that is really challenging, because you cannot go every day for doing survey. You have to take the permission of the leader. Leader will first see how is the climate condition, how is the weather condition on that day. We get the weather forecast. If the weather is totally clear, then only we are allowed to go outside the station. Otherwise, you can't go. Then changing weather, as you can see in this top picture, suddenly and everything is covered. You can't see anything. I'll show you. This is the building here, and if you see in the left picture, I was somewhere here. But you can't see anything because it's a total sudden change in the weather. Digging pits, it's a quite tedious task. You might have done a lot of snow plowing in your areas during the winter season, but digging this kind of pit for doing observation, it's really very, very difficult. Then walking long distance, because some of the areas you don't have any, their vehicles are not there, only snow scooters are there, one or two, and another vehicle I will show you that is lying in the main continent. So walking, you have to walk long distance along with the instruments. So that's a really tedious task. Then you have to do a lot of climbing also, up and down, and snow is loose, snow is slippery, ice conditions are there, because if one day before you have to come down, and if the one day before there was a snow melt, next day it gets frozen, so it becomes sudden slippery. And I always used to feel, because I had gone in when my age was more than 50 years, so I always used to get worried. What if I falls down? If I fall down, if I break something or some hip, then gone case. Because I will not get immediate help also. I will not be able to go back also. So I used to be very, very careful, but still I had my own share of falling down and tumbling downs and everything on the slippery ice condition. Uncertainty of the terrain. I will show you one example. I'm sure I have put that how we were saved that particular day. And then another big problem, big challenge is the long observations hour away from the station. So when you can't ease out yourself anywhere, absolutely not. So during the long observation hours, it used to be very difficult how to ease yourself out till you come back. So that was one of the big challenge in Antarctica. And then most of the, like you are wearing the dangri suit, although then I changed it to two-piece suit. Otherwise, many people, they wear the dangri suit, that is full suit. So these are some of the challenges there, which I felt, I thought I will share with you. Extremely windy and freezing conditions, because as I mentioned, the wind will be there, freezing temperature will be below zero, because during my stay, hardly some 4 or 5 days were there when the temperature went above 0 degrees centigrade. Most of the time it was minus temperature only, with a lot of winds. Another thing was that, like, we had lot of crevasses here. Blizzards were there, high winds, inhospitable condition. One day when we went for a survey in a particular area, that area was full of crevasses. Actually, it was our mistake, because we could not identify. It was my first visit. I could not identify crevasse. Afterwards, it became very clear that this type of lines, wherever they are there, you can see a faint line here where I marked with the arrow. So wherever these faint lines are there, actually they are crevasses covered with the snow. So that is why faint white line will be visible. That will be the fresh snow. So we almost, my one of my this colleague who is there in the front, he was about to go inside, but since he was very sturdy, he could pull himself out. So that particular day, we tied ourselves with the ropes. Here you can see here that this person is also tied, the other person is also tied, so that by chance if he goes inside a crevasse, because of the rope, we will be able to pull it up. So these were lot of challenges for field work if you have to go away from your station. And as I mentioned, that long working hours, they create basic issues in Antarctica. So this was my actually the work experience. Let us talk about the other things which we saw in Antarctica. So if you talk about Antarctica expedition, India has first gone to Antarctica on 16 January 1982. So first Antarctic expedition under Dr. S.Z. Qasim, Syed Zahur Qasim, who was the group leader of first Indian Antarctic mission. And this, they constructed one station called Dakshin Gangotri. So this is a GK question. Dakshin Gangotri कहाँ है। तो एक्चुअली दक्षिण गंगोत्री जो है वो फर्स्ट इंडियन स्टेशन था जो कि अंटार्कटिका में 1983 में बनाया गया था। लेकिन ये स्टेशन जो था 1989 में ये आइस में बरी हो गया और इसको 1989 में इसको अबंडन किया। बिकॉज क्या हुआ, ये जो स्टेशन था जब वो वहां पर गए तो जब पहुंचे तो उनको पता तो नहीं था, बिकॉज दिस वाज फर्स्ट एक्सपीडिशन। तो जहां पर लैंड किए शिप से जहां पर पहुंचे वहीं उन्होंने स्टेशन जो है वो बना दिया। एक्चुअली इट वाज ए शेल्फ, as I mentioned, that shelf has got ocean below. It's a like there is an irregularity on the continent mass. That area is covered with ice, and then below is the ocean. So that is quite vulnerable, quite fragile. So this station, slowly you can see that it got abandoned. Here you can see the right picture. It got under the snow and ice, and then finally it was to be abandoned. Then the next station, so now they knew that we should not construct any station on shelf. So the next station was constructed 100 kilometers away from the coast. Now this is actually one oasis called Shirmachar Oasis in the central Drowning Mount land of the East Antarctica. Why it is called oasis? Because this area is most of the area is devoid of snow, and there are big rocky boulders are available, and there are many lakes are there. So water lakes are there. So that's why this area is called oasis. And then our second station was constructed, that is called Maitri in 1988-1989. So first was Dakshin Gangotri, and then was Maitri station was there. So this is the picture of Maitri during little summertime when there is no snow. I'll show you the other picture also. Then came the third station. Now, then they found out that when it is 100 kilometers away, transporting the things to 100 kilometers is a big task. So it is also a no-no. So where should be the next station? So what they found out, they went almost 3,000 kilometers away. The distance between Bharti and Maitri is 3,000 kilometers, which is the distance of east and west of India. So they constructed a station at Bharti. Now this Bharti station, which is the third station, which was constructed in 2012, it is on an island. Okay, so that island is on the sea, and it is with a small bridge they have made. So with the small bridge, it connects to the main island. So the ship can come very near to the Bharti station. So that is why. And another advantage of this particular station is that now, this station, they say that during the 140 million years before, during that period, India, part of the India, that is the Gondwana land, Eastern India, it was connected to Antarctica. So they get the rock type near Bharati, which is similar to the Gondwana land. And Maitri was almost 5.5 hours away from India. So now this station is just below Pakistan longitude. So it is just half an hour difference from India. And it is similar to, they say that India, that is why the station at Bharti was constructed. And this small island also has got some 4-5 lakes for water. Okay. So this is the third station, Bharti. And this particular station, it's a 5-star facility in Antarctica, a beautiful station which is made. So now you can just see, I will show you certain photographs. So this is the view of Bharti station. You can see here, this is the main station. And this is the antenna, data transmission antenna. This is data receiving. These are the two data receiving antennas. What happens? We have our staff stationed in Antarctica, and satellite, when it passes over the globe, entire world, and from every satellite makes almost 13 to 14 passes over Antarctica. Every time it passes over Antarctica. So from any part of the world, whatever data is collected, it is downloaded at Antarctica. And then from there, it is sent to our station at Shadnagar. There the data is received. Finally, the data is backed up and kept. So lot of data is received in Antarctica, and that is why ISRO people are always stationed there. They have the shift duty there and they do the work. And this is the station data in winters. Same you can see here. During winter, this entire ocean is frozen. This is the ocean area, which is entire ocean is frozen. So these are the three antennas. These are the huts of different organization who do the project there, who are continuously stationed there. And these are where the lot of our material, food and everything is put. These are the containers where food and other materials are kept, where this place is not there in the inside the station. And this is the station. Now, how we go and how we get selected. So as I mentioned that we have to submit a project proposal, we have to defend it. Once the project proposal is approved, then we have to go for medical checkup at AIMS Delhi. And after the medical checkup at ITPB, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Force, ITPB, there we have to, there they have at Oli, they have a training center, and we have to go for physical training at Oli and then to Badrinath. Lot of things are taught there. There are exercises using the ropes. You have to work with because many people are there who have never seen an ice apart from what is kept in the fridge. So for them, seeing ice is a big, like they see the ice for the first time, ice and snow. So we have to work with that, wear the big, that ice boots, the trekking boots, which are almost 4 to 5 kg of the weight. And then we have to put the crampons below that, work on the ice, try to work with that because in case it is needed, we can use it in Antarctica. A lot of trekking is needed in Antarctica, tent pitching, and then you have to do like the climbing the rock, coming down from the rock. So all these physical exercises, rock rappelling. This was a very unique experience for me. When I came from the rock, initially I was feeling little hesitant and I was little afraid. But then I could easily do whenever that exercise was there. So after the physical training, in physical training, actually, there are like, they see the other things also, those officer, how is person's behavior, whether the person can work in the group or not. If not, such persons are not selected. Then they take us to Badrinath also, and then there also a lot of exercises are done. Once we clear all the medical and all the physical training and all the exercises, then we are selected to go to Antarctica. Final selection will be done, provided the military and other clearances it comes. So then we go to Goa for a briefing before the departure. Now in Antarctica, you have to wear a particular type of clothing. And those, all the fittings and all are done at Goa. So I did not tell 3 layers of socks, and then snow goggle and the other goggle, snow boots, then the 2-3 layers of gloves, inner layer and outer layer, and then total 3 layer of clothes, inner, middle and dangri. So these all are given, and your entire that baggage is made ready before departure. Another thing is that the briefing, actually briefing sessions are very necessary to survive in such inhospitable continent. If we are not paying attention to the instructions given by the people there, it could be a small line between your life and death. I'll tell you later. So how we go? So from Goa, we went to Bombay, from Bombay to, I think, Cape Town. So Cape Town is the base, and from Cape Town, we have 2 ways to go to Antarctica. One is from Cape Town to Maitri, there is a flight. And then there is then from Maitri to Bharti, there is another flight, as you can see in the top right picture. And then from Cape Town, one ship starts, which comes to Bharti, then Maitri, and goes back to Cape Town. Now, recently, this year only, they have started a flight from Cape Town to Bharti also. So, directly from Cape Town to Bharti also, people can go by flight. Now, there is a small ship which takes us, this is the ship actually, which takes us to Antarctica from Cape Town also. We have to do a lot of briefing will be there. They teach us so many things. And you have to keep a small baggage where your dangri suit will be there, because without wearing polar gears, they call as a polar gear, without that you can't even step in Antarctica. So when we are like little away from Antarctica, so on that flight, it's actually a luggage plane. It's not a passenger flight. Only in that you will find that some seats are there, and rest of the area is filled with luggage actually of all the people who are working there. So you will get a message there. We will be landing in Antarctica in about 90 minutes. The temperature is -5 degrees centigrade, wind 8 meters per second, like that. And then please change into your Antarctic clothing. So that also we were given instructions how in that small space, well, all the 50, 70 people will be changing, like wearing the top gear, how you should do it. So all that helped us. We could put our Antarctic clothing, and then we landed in Antarctica. When we landed in Antarctica, we were welcomed by these piston bully, where in जहाँ पर बिल्कुल हमारा भारतीय तिरंगा जो है एकदम हवा में लहरा रहा था, और हमारे जो पुराने साथी जो 1 साल से वहां पर थे, वो हम सबको रिसीव करने के लिए और लेने के लिए आए थे। उस अंटार्कटिका की भूमि पर जब मैंने इंडिया का, भारत का तिरंगा लहराते हुए देखा, वो दृश्य मैं कभी भी अपने लाइफ में भूल नहीं सकती, और मेरे जीवन के अविस्मरणीय क्षण में से वो एक क्षण है, भारतीय तिरंगे को वहां पर लहराता हुआ देखना। सो दिस इज द piston bully, the vehicle which runs at a speed of around 10 kilometers per hour. And this took us to the Bharti station, no, Maitri station, because we got down at Novo runway. Novo runway is a complete, it's a blue ice, it's a runway on blue ice, hard ice. And here the flight comes only during 2 to 3 months, that is in November end, some December, not even in January, because January again some melt takes place, and in February, by February end it winds up for next year. So this is the Cape Town to Novo. And then Novo to Progress. Progress means where our Bharti station is there. So to go there, there is a very small airplane is there, like this, where hardly 10 people can sit, and there is a weight restriction was there. We were allowed only 1500 kg. And then when after 2 days, because it's almost 8 to 9 hours journey if the weather is good, and you have to refuel in between somewhere. Now, the refueling was to be done midway at Japanese station, but they came to know that there a lot of melting has taken place, so you cannot land at the Japanese station. So they have landed at station, which was only 1.5 hours from one side and 5.5 hours from other side. So naturally, the fuel requirement was more. So they have reduced our thing, and from 1,500 kg, our total allowed weight was 1,000 kg. So the whole night we all sat together weighing each individual person. What is the person's weight? What suitcase he is carrying? So we were asked only to carry 5 kg weight of clothes and instruments also. So we repacked our instruments in small bags, leaving our all my clothes and everything behind at Maitri station. Only 5 kg was allowed. I was lucky because my partner, he was a very young, 25 years old guy, and he was very thin and lean. So I could snatch some 5 kg, some kg weight from him. And that day I decided that next time when I come to Antarctica, I will reduce my weight so that I should be able to carry as many clothes as possible. Jokes apart. But yes, that I took as a challenge to reduce the weight. So like that, with that challenge, we started from Maitri. And this particular flight is a really very, like suddenly I started feeling something dizziness. Then I told to that. Then he said, no, see, you just see there is a pipe is there. You that take it and put it in your nose. So that supply of oxygen has started in my nose, and then I started feeling better. So because it's a very primitive flight, the proper pressure maintenance and all those are not there in this. And these are the other snow scooter, and these are the helicopters which come along with the ship when the ship comes there, and they are the mode of transport. Now, these are some of the views of Bharti Station. Bharti Station is made up of container ship containers, and it's a absolute vacuum. So there is an outer layer, middle layer, and in between, so that it is not affected, and inside temperature is always maintained to 24 to 25 degrees centigrades. There, the each room is properly air supply is given. In case of any eventualities, immediately the air of that room will be automatically cut off. So it's a quite modern station. Four people are there to monitor it, to maintain all the life systems there. So this is the board Bharti Research Base at latitude, longitude. This is me and my colleague ready to go outside in the polar gear. This is during the little summertime. Here, the best thing in Antarctica is nothing is locked. Only bathrooms are locked. You can lock the bathrooms. And then the leader room is locked. Do you know what is the reason to lock the leader room? Because there a lot of booze is kept. So people should not come and take it. That's why that room is locked. This is the changing room. So when you go outside, your dungarees and all your things are there, because inside temperature is maintained. So you can be in your normal clothes like you are moving in anywhere. So you have to wear the dungaree suit. This is a small all dharma puja room. One room is dedicated to that. And this was my room, the double bunk bed, but I was alone, and a small table, a small almirah, a chair, and this is the window, and with a curtain on that. But that is a very necessary, because when we go there during summertime, it is all 24 hours light. So if the curtains we do not put at a proper time, we will not be able to sleep even up to 2 o'clock or the 3 o'clock. I faced that problem during my initial days. So afterwards, at 7:30 itself, I will close the window, and then so that by 9 o'clock when I come to my room, there will be little darkness, and then I will avoid seeing outside towards the sun. This is the Maitri station. Maitri station is an old station. It looks like this. And here you can see this is, and this lake is there. This lake is known as Priyadarshini Lake, named after then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And this is me when my sleeping container, when it was everything was whole night, so much snowfall took place. When the morning when we got up, it was totally covered. We were not even able to open it, so we have to call someone to get it clean. You can see the vastness. This is actually all, these are the containers of fuel and other things which the people were bringing from the ship. When the ship comes, you have to go there and bring all the fuel and everything from there. And this is the lake when it is not frozen condition. So this is the view of Maitri. Now coming to the another thing, that is the wildlife. What is the wildlife in Antarctica? Antarctica has got few birds. Antarctica has got one famous wildlife you all know about. Okay, I'll show you. So there are certain birds which are there. One of them is called skua. Skua becomes very friendly with the people. So when you go, whenever we used to go for survey, I will always find a pair of skua there. They will also follow us. And but they are very ferocious also, like once when we were going, one skua was this thing. So the another colleague who was there, who was little experienced, he told that मैम ये कुआ यहाँ पर है बिकॉज यहाँ पर इसका कोई तो भी बेबी होगा बोले, इसलिए ये सर्कल कर रहा है और ये हमको वार्न कर रहा है कि इस तरीके पे मत जाइए। और सही में वी फाउंड आउट दैट देयर वाज अ बेबी स्क्वायर देयर, सो वी हैड टू टेक अ लिटिल circuitous, otherwise it comes and it will hit you on your head. They are so ferocious. Then there are different type of birds like albatross, snow petrels, storm petrel. So these some of the birds are there in Antarctica. Another thing is that which is called seal, which is found in Antarctica, and particularly during when there is a sea ice, and then summer starts, so there will be small cracks, and then these seals will come on top of that. I really wonder how they move. They are so heavy, so much mass and tons of weight is there. And it seems they jump also. They jump also, you know. That is why you should not go very near to them, because if they are in a, generally they fight with each other, and they, if they are ferocious, they will jump on you. So this is another seal called crab eater seal. Then there is a Vedal seal. So this was a really fun to watch these creatures in Antarctica, apart from the vastness of snow. Another thing which is there in Antarctica is the penguins. So there are different varieties, almost I think some 6, 7 varieties of penguins are there in Antarctica. And this is the one which we could see with our eyes. They are 1.5 to 2 feet, sorry, 2 feet, 2 feet height almost, 2 feet height, perfectly gleaming black and perfectly gleaming white penguins. And in when I went there for almost 5, 7 days, I could not see a penguin, and I was getting desperate. What if I don't see a penguin during my, because during my stay, because you need ocean and the boundary. There only the most of the penguins will be there. And for our case, ocean, because all along sea ice was there, so we were not able to see penguins, and I was getting desperate. 12th day, I could see a pair of penguins. Then I felt as if, yeah, now I could achieve something. So this was the pair of penguins which I could see during the survey. We were doing survey, and suddenly that vehicle driver, he said, "Madam, something black is visible there." Immediately we kept our instruments there only, that whatever I showed you, and then we took the snow scooter and we simply rushed towards that area. When we went there, really we found out these two small beauties there, and then we could take lot of photographs with them, selfie with the penguins, and all the things we could do. So these were the penguins, Edley penguins. They are called Edley penguins. Another penguin which is found in Antarctica, they're called the emperor penguins. You all know about them. So many movies are made on that. They are near Australian station, Davis station. But sometimes one or two by mistake, they come here and there. But mostly they are visible. They are found there only near Australian station. For with near our station, we only get Edley penguins. They only come sometimes. This was actually that day what we could experience. You can see that when my colleague was there on his this uncles, and then वो जब ऐसे से हाथ flap कर रहे थे, तो वो penguin को लग रहा था कि ये हमारा ही साथी है. You can see that the penguin is also flapping the hand, and it was a really beautiful moment to watch that the penguin flapping the hand to my colleague. Then Antarctica is really beautiful. So many nice icebergs are there. Beautiful colors of icebergs. Tunnels are there. Snow tunnel, ice tunnels are there. Erosion is there. This one is, you can see the bottom shape. It is because of the wind erosion. पूरा एकदम erosion जो है वो पूरा यहाँ पर हो गया है. It's really beautiful. And this is what we could capture from the helicopter when we went for the survey, just to see certain areas. So these are all the areas which we could capture. And this is hello at Antarctica, like our rainbow. So this is full circle hello is there, which I could observe in Antarctica. Then these are all are the midnight photography. As I mentioned, that the sun never sat there. During midnight also, you could see sun. So whenever we were awake, so beautiful cloud captures and beautiful pictures we could capture. I did lot of cooking there because I mentioned ना कि आप पूरे टाइम वहां पर नहीं जा सकते थे बाहर, आपके जाने के दिन लिमिटेड होते हैं, तो क्या किया जाए, आप दिन भर खाली बैठे हुए हैं। तो मैंने सोचा क्यों ना कुकिंग कुकिंग में ही मजा मजा किया जाए। तो पूरे टाइम जो है वो कुक को मदद करना। और हमारे हमारे इसरो में, मैं इसरो में हूँ, इसरो में एक ट्रेडिशन है कि जब भी कोई सैटेलाइट लॉन्च होता है तो हमारे यहाँ पर उसके लिए मिठाई बांटी जाती है। तो जब मैं अंटार्कटिका में थी तब दो सैटेलाइट का सक्सेसफुल लॉन्च हुआ। तो उसमें मैंने फिर बहुत सारे ऐसे लड्डू बनाए, बालूशाही या मक्खन वड़ा जिसको कहते हैं, ये बनाया और लोगों को बांटा। जब मैं ट्रेनिंग कर रही थी औली में, तो मेरे साथ जो शेफ था उसने बोला कि मैम आप महाराष्ट्र से हैं। मैंने कहा, तो बोले आपको पूरन पोली आती होगी। मैंने कहा बिल्कुल आती है। उसको पूरन पोली बहुत पसंद है। तो उस एक दिन जब 22 दिसंबर को उसका बर्थडे था, तो उस दिन सबके लिए, मेरी जिंदगी में मैंने कभी इतनी 90 और 100 पूरन पोली कभी बनाई नहीं होंगी। इट्स ए क्वाइट टीडियस प्रोसेस, जिनको पता है वो जानते हैं। तो उस दिन मैंने वो पूरा के पूरा बनाया, क्योंकि मुझे ये ऐसा लगा था कि जहां पर हम हैं वहां हमको हर तरीके से मजा करना चाहिए। जब आप बाहर नहीं जा सकते हैं तो अंदर ही एंजॉय करिए। तो काफी मैंने इस तरीके से बहुत एंजॉय किया। हर गुरुवार को वहां पर पूजा के लिए प्रसाद बनता था, तो प्रसाद बनाते थे। रोटी बनाना लोगों को सिखाया। जब मैत्री में थे तो वहां पर कुछ बिहार के लोग थे, बोले मैडम लिट्टी लिट्टी चोखा बनाएंगे, जिनको पता है लिट्टी के बारे में। अब लिट्टी बनाने के लिए तंदूर जैसा आपको, मतलब कोयले का तंदूर, अब लकड़ी का वो पूरा है। तो हम लोगों ने पहले लीडर से परमिशन ली, बैठे बाजू में फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर दो तीन रखे, बाजू में पानी की बाल्टियां दो तीन भर के रखी। वो सब करते हुए पूरा बिल्कुल जिसको कहते हैं ना एकदम जान लगा के, क्योंकि जरा भी कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन सबको जो है वो लिट्टी चोखे का उस दिन हम लोगों ने स्वाद दिया। थोड़ा सा फोटो फोटो अब भी करना पड़ता है, तो ताकि बता सके कि भाई हमने अंटार्कटिका में जाके सूर्य नमस्कार किया। इस तरीके से बहुत फन किए। काफी ऊपर से नीचे आके स्लाइडिंग करना और इस तरीके से बहुत कुछ करते रहे। अंटार्कटिका में गेम्स भी बहुत होते हैं। अब आप देखिए पूरे आईसी कॉन्टिनेंट में क्रिकेट जो है वो वहां भी खेला जा रहा है। इंडियंस जहां भी रहेंगे क्रिकेट नहीं खेलेंगे ऐसा तो नहीं होगा। ये भी लेक्चर मैंने सोचा सुना था कि शायद शनिवार की जगह रविवार को किसी क्रिकेट मैच के कारण ही जो है इस पे शनिवार से रविवार को पोस्टपोन किया। वॉलीबॉल बहुत खेलते हैं, और पर्टिकुलरली जो स्टेशन है, जैसे जो भारतीय स्टेशन है, भारतीय स्टेशन के बाजू में चाइनीज स्टेशन है और वहां पर रशियन स्टेशन है। तो इंडियन, रशियन और चाइनीज, ये इनका रेगुलरली जो है वो फुटबॉल मैच होता है। और हम लोगों ने भी क्रिसमस के नेक्स्ट डे 26 को फ्रेंडली मैच हुआ था, इंडिया चाइना और रशिया के। और इंडियन टीम हमारी जीत गई थी। तो पहले प्रैक्टिस किया था और बाद में पूरा वहां पर खेले थे। मुझे तो वहां पर बैठने में ही इतनी ठंड लग रही थी, पता नहीं कैसे खेल रहे थे ये लोग। तो काफी वहां पर मतलब सभी हेलीपैड पे भी क्रिकेट खेलते हैं सब, मतलब जितना समय है, जितना जैसी लाइफ है, भले टफ है लेकिन एंजॉय सब करते हैं। उसके अलावा इंडोर गेम्स हैं, टीटी टेबल है, कैरम है, जो भी है आप आराम से खेल सकते हैं। जो लोग विंटर में वहां रहते हैं उनके लिए तो अरोरा देखना तो एक, जिसको कहते हैं ना, एक सौभाग्य सी बात हो जाती है। इस बार तो सुना मैंने कि नॉर्दर्न अमेरिका में और कनाडा में भी काफी अरोरा जो है वो लोगों को अपने अपने घर में बैठे हुए, न्यूयॉर्क तक अपने घर में बैठे हुए लोगों को अरोरा देखने के लिए मिल गया। मैं आइसलैंड जाके भी मुझे नहीं देख पाई थी, और यहाँ पर भी मुझे नहीं मिला था क्योंकि मैं समर में गई थी, तब अंधेरा था ही नहीं, पूरा उजेला था। लेकिन ये पिक्चर्स मेरे कलीग के द्वारा लिए हुए हैं, जो वहां पर डिफरेंट अरोरा के हैं। एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो सुपर मून टेकन देयर। These are another pictures taken in Maitri Station. The background is of the various huts of Maitri Station, and you can see even the shooting star, Milky Way. All things are very very clear. This is the last year it was taken by my colleague. A very big aurora was there, and I'm expecting some pictures. I had to ask this time when the storm was there whether they have seen or not any. When this G5 storm was there and where the aurora was were visible. Some natural, some certain things they come, like this day there was a lot of cold was there and lot of wind was there. So the water from the lake was coming out and just falling. And then finally, we have seen that such a nice, beautiful shapes were made on the rock. And this is one भूला भटका बेचारा पेंगुइन भारतीय स्टेशन में आके बैठा था, और लोगों ने फिर नेचुरली कोई मौका तो छोड़ेगा नहीं उसके साथ फोटो खींचने का. So this is that penguin which was there. As I mentioned about the challenge, this was when I was at Bharti, almost 70 kg of weight. And then I took as a challenge, the right side picture, you can see me at 62 kg of weight. So I took the challenge, accepted. And here you see how these penguins are running. They run on their belly. I don't know whether you've seen it or not. So a lot of hobbies I could develop. I could have fun. I could really enjoy my trip to Antarctica, learn lot many things, learned about respecting nature, learned about the importance of small things in the life, learned about importance of working together, being in a hostile environment, how to be happy, learn the importance of a small green chili or a small onion or a small tomato. If they are not there, learn the importance of cleanliness, toilets, how we take the things as granted, जो कि वहां पर नहीं है, और कैसे people उसमें भी survive करते हैं. So that is all I could get a takeaway from my Antarctica expedition. So thank you very much. Now open to question if there are people, and if there are.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very, very insightful. As the talk progressed, many more people joined. At the max, we had 20 people at the highest audience. There are a lot of questions over here in the chat box. I will take them one by one. But before that, I want to really thank you for sharing your all these insights. It is a very, very different topic, and a lot of us were very intrigued. And I must say that you are very, very creative, especially with the food. I saw that you created with watermelon Santa Claus. That was very interesting.
Yeah, that is actually my hobby. That is I called as a plate art. I written a book also on that. There are many people who are on my WhatsApp. So generally I put at them as my status message, or on my Facebook page or my Insta page. So that is using the peels and other peels of vegetables and fruits. I create a plate art. And then usually regularly I post it. Earlier I used to post almost daily. Abhi thoda sa once in fortnight I post. So that is my hobby actually.
And the talk was so engaging that we were going over time, but I was like, I did not want you to stop, and I hope nobody else wanted to, because the people were posting questions and we have nobody left the talk. I will quickly take questions in the order of when they came in. The first question is from Abhilash Srivastava, who is a current PhD student at NIT Raipur. He asks, how is
I'll read it. I'll read it, I think. My interest in geopolitics as well. Okay, you read it, huh?
Sure, ma'am. I think he has rephrased the question next. He said that how is research and the preservation of ecosystem, how is it balanced over there?
Yeah, actually, Antarctica, when the people are doing research, any country, they have to be a part of the Antarctic Treaty. There are a lot of rules and regulations of Antarctic Treaty. First of all, you cannot take anything away from the Antarctica, only whatever you want to take, only for the research purpose, but you cannot take otherwise anything from Antarctica. You cannot leave any garbage there. And there are certain protected areas. If you have to go there, you have to take the permission from the treaty. So certain rules have to be followed when you are doing research in Antarctica. But just for a bit information, like there are so many lakes there on the Bharti Island, we thought that we will be able to use it for groundwater, for our drinking water supply. But we could not do it because under the treaty they found out that that water contains certain prehistoric information, blah blah blah. So that is why one has to respect the nature there. Just to another example, like whatever garbage we create, we have to pack it and then recycle it, pack it, and then bring it back in the ship to the main island for disposal. Not only garbage, also the human excreta, human waste, whatever it is.
Oh,
Everything has to be brought back.
okay. So the takeaway is that you cannot bring back a penguin as a souvenir.
No, 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 you can't.
And
Also,
the next
make
question is
it
by
drinkable, not following any no, no, all the treaties are there. Only like Maitri station, we can use the lake water. But for Bharti station, there is a desalination plant is there at Bharti station. And we go to the ocean, take the water and then desalinize it. And then the some treated water only it is used. And then different levels of water. Again, the plant is there at Bharti station.
sure, ma'am. And follow-up question for that by Sumit sir is how do they generate electricity over there?
Yeah, the electricity is generators are there, and then we use the fuel is ATF turbine. ATF fuel is there, whatever used in the aircrafts, because that even that does not freeze even at I think -40 to or -45 degree. Also, it doesn't freeze. So that ATF fuel is used there, and generators are there. It runs on generators for electricity.
Okay. The next question, the next couple of questions are related to food. So Dheeraj sir asks, what kind of food did you eat over there?
Yeah,
Is
actually, what happened since I went there during November end, December first week. So by that time, actually, the ship has not come. Ship comes in December end or first week of January. So whatever we had all the stale food of 1 year back. 1 or 1 year. So there actually the deep freezers are there. So you have all dried vegetables, frozen vegetables are there. They are kept at -20 degree inside the station, and outside you know that the temperature can go many, so outside also. So all the frozen vegetables were there, and फूड बहुत ज्यादा है, इफरात है. रोज घी का एक कनस्तर एक डब्बा निकलता था, लोग घी खत्म करते थे. खाने पीने की कोई प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं थी, सब कुछ रसद था, दाल चावल आटा घी शक्कर. बस ये है कि फ्रेश सब्जी नहीं थी, इसलिए मतलब फ्रेश सब्जी की क्या वैल्यू होती है. हमारे टाइम जैसे प्याज भी नहीं था, प्याज भी सब 6 महीने में सब खत्म हो जाता है. तो प्याज के लिए भी उन्होंने ऐसे फ्लेक्स दिए थे, उसको पानी में डाल के और पीस के फिर उसका पेस्ट बना के फिर वो प्याज को जो है वो इस्तेमाल करना पड़ता था. पालक, फ्रोजन पालक था, फ्रोजन सब्जियां थी. तो वो सब, इवन ब्रेड भी जो है वो साल भर पुरानी जो है वो होती थी, डीप फ्रिज में रहती थी, उसको निकालो, वार्म करो और फिर खाओ. हमारे टाइम पूरा फ्रोजन था. केवल एक बार जब शिप आया तब उसके साथ फिर केप टाउन से सारे फ्रेश फ्रूट्स वेजिटेबल्स. तो इसलिए मैं हमें मतलब उस समय ये कि एक टमाटर भी यदि मिले, हम किसकी वैल्यू नहीं जानते, लेकिन वहां पर यदि एक ग्रीन चिली भी मिल जाए, एक प्याज भी मिल जाए, एक टमाटर मिल जाए, उसकी वैल्यू जो है वो बहुत है. फिर हम लोगों ने खाना बनाया भी बहुत, सब बनाते थे.
that I can see Mukul ma'am smiling because her follow-up question was that you mentioned Puran Poli and you mentioned a lot of different things. It seemed like you were having a blast and you were having a party over there. So she was asking, how did you found all these materials for cooking in a deserted place like Antarctica?
नहीं, मटेरियल सब रहता है, बिकॉज क्या है, सभी तरीके के लोग जाते हैं ना, मतलब जो कंटिजेंट होता है सब तरीके का होता है. कोई नॉर्थ का होता है, कोई ईस्ट का होता है, कोई वेस्ट का होता है, कोई सभी का होता है. तो उसके लिए नेचुरली सब तरीके के लोग होने के कारण मटेरियल सब कुछ रहता है. ऑलमोस्ट रॉ मटेरियल पूरा के पूरा ही रहता है, सब कुछ वहां पर
Sure,
काफी
ma'am.
स्टोर किया जाता है. मतलब ऐसा रहता है कि समझो किसी कारण से शिप नहीं अभी आ पाए तो 2 साल तक का आपके पास रसद पूरी 25-30 लोगों के लिए आराम से रहती है.
Okay. There is a question by Santoshi ma'am. She asked if did you face any breathing problem while you were there?
नहीं नहीं, वहां पर ऑक्सीजन बहुत है. वहां पर ऑक्सीजन से बचना पड़ता है क्योंकि प्योर है, ऑक्सीजन बहुत ज्यादा है. एंड एनी मिसहैप कैन कॉज द टोटल डिवास्टेशन. जैसे आपको बताते हैं, जो रशियन स्टेशन था, तो रशियन स्टेशन पूरा के पूरा जो है वो फायर के कारण गट्टेड हो गया था. अब आपको पता है, फॉरेनर्स जनरली जब सोते हैं दे स्लीप ऐसे ही सोते हैं. तो वो पूरा के पूरा खिड़की से कूद कूद के तो पूरा सब बच गए. उसके बाद फिर चूंकि तब हमारा जो भारतीय स्टेशन है जस्ट वो बन रहा था, इट वाज इन द मेंटेन दिस preparation stage. So all our containers were lying. Then they could come to those containers and they could take some food and shelter and everything. So there we have to be very careful for fire actually, and that's why in Goa we were given firefighting training and all the training. So breathing का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता वहां, केवल ठंडी का ही प्रॉब्लम होता है, फ्रॉस्ट बाइट का प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, एंड ये बहुत होता है, मतलब आप अंदर चल रहे हैं और जिसको कहते हैं ना जो सडन करंट जो लगता है वो बहुत ज्यादा होता है बिल्डिंग के अंदर।
I see.
बहुत ज्यादा होता है।
Now, Gajen sir has raised his hand. There are written questions. I will come back to it. Gajen sir, please go ahead and ask your question.
Ma'am, so awesome work, awesome job, and awesome presentation. I was just mesmerized listening to all your experience there. I have a question about workout and all. Like, how do you all stay fit there? Because I mean, you said कि कुछ दिनों तक, काफी दिनों तक you don't get a chance to go out, right? So you have to keep yourself fit as well during that time.
Yes. जिम है, अंदर जिम है पूरा, एंड एक रूम में पूरा जिम के इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स पूरे रखे हुए हैं, ट्रेडमिल है, जिम है, एंड तो सब अंदर जो है वो फिट रहते हैं। थोड़ा सा लगा तो बाहर के बाहर ही घूम ले, बट अदरवाइज जिम 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 जाते हैं। मतलब वहां पर तो लोग पूरा वजन कम कर लेते हैं, पूरा खाते भी खूब है, तो कुछ तो मोटे हो जाते हैं जो मतलब वो अच्छा वजन बढ़ा लेते हैं, कुछ एकदम दुबले पतले होके आते हैं। तो वहाँ दोनों टाइप के लोग हमको हमको दिखते हैं हमेशा। तो जिम करते हैं पूरा, एंड वहां पर डॉक्टर भी रहते हैं, नर्स, एक मेल नर्स है, एक डॉक्टर या दो डॉक्टर रहते हैं, नर्स रहती है, तो वो संभाल लेते हैं बाकी। दैट इज द वे। लेकिन ये है कि जो साल भर के लिए जाते हैं, पर्टिकुलरली विंटर में थोड़ा उनको साइकोलॉजिकल थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम्स तो होते हैं, कभी कभी अकेले होते हैं, कभी घर से फैमिली से नहीं बात कर सके या कुछ नहीं कर सके, तो थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट तो है। इट्स नॉट दैट इजी। एंड समर में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, बिकॉज समर में तो क्या है, करीबन 50 लोग रह जाते हैं, तो यू हैव वेराइटी ऑफ द पीपल अराउंड यू। विंटर में when the ship leaves in March, so March to November only 22 people are there, 22 to 23, so naturally थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम रहता है।
Majid sir, please go ahead and ask your question.
Madam, I think I'm just repeating what Gajen said. It is a really brave and very challenging expedition you took, and we are lucky to hear from you your experience. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Where are you located now?
I'm in Hyderabad.
Okay. Are you following what the results that you had on your expedition, and now what has happened to the ecosystem so far, and what is good, what is bad happening? Because we are having so much debate going on all over the world regarding the climate change. So if you
Yes.
compare what you found and what is now, what is it? What is going on? What your personal?
In Antarctica, actually, because I have been following the snow melt and freeze, that is how much melt is taking place, so that I have been doing the analysis regularly. Still, it is in a it is not, we cannot say that it is a downtrend. It is still a sinusoidal curve is there, particularly for the melt condition or the temperature conditions are there. But yes, there is a lot of change because the temperatures are increasing. In Antarctica, I think recently has faced a temperature of around 9 to 10 degrees, which has never gone. I think 7 to 10 exactly. I don't remember, but that has never gone. So now the number of positive temperature days are increasing comparing to the previous days, and lot of there's some icebergs or the shelf areas are breaking. Big icebergs are being formed. So those things are happening all over the world and in Antarctica also. Let us see what happens.
Okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, last question perhaps from Ajay sir. Is there any visible impact of climate change from 1981 to now in Antarctica?
Yeah, as I mentioned, a lot of changes are there. We are monitoring carbon dioxide also. We are monitoring methane and the other gases also. So changes are there, but right now we cannot say, not particularly for Antarctica. Still, we are in the permissible limits only, I should say. It's not alarming like Arctic. Arctic, it is becoming alarming. The Arctic sea ice extent is
Mm.
reducing drastically. But Antarctica, still, we have been observing from many years, so that graph has not gone down much. It is still not in the alarming stage for
Uh,
Antarctica.
okay. I guess we have a couple of more questions. If we could take it. Sumit sir, now please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, no, no, thank you, Rajashree Ma'am. This was really interesting. Just quick question, right? So all these research being done by India and all other countries, is it all in public domain or is this something hidden from us, which indicates
No,
something, different? Like you said,
no,
right, that
no,
lake has got prehistoric, elements and then it's being researched.
no. Everything is in public domain. You just search Antarctica, you will get thousands of papers on Antarctica.
Oh,
Because like India, there are Russian, so many stations are there now, Chinese, Japanese, Australian. Everyone has stations, and then people are coming, doing work. Lot of things are happening. So many new and new and new findings are coming every time. So it is all in public domain.
okay, thank you.
Everything is public domain. You can see even my papers are also there. Other papers are also
Yeah,
there.
I was checking in online and I saw some real nice images and about Bharti and Maitri. Thank you.
I
Abhilash,
am doing some part of the work. Some people are doing other. Like we at our Ahmedabad center, they do the analysis of like when the ship goes, what are the different routes from where it can go. So that analysis done. Then some do the study of the glaciers there, how the glaciers are moving or what is the moving rate. And particularly, there is one shell called Emery shelf. And earlier, that shelf was not having much melt, but now again, some portions are getting melt. So that lot of studies are being done there also now.
Okay, thank you.
Abhilash, go ahead and ask your question.
Hello,
Did
ma'am.
you interact with other countries' scientists? Yes, we had a. We just talked to Russian and this Chinese. We have an interaction session. What is going on there? So that and then I wanted some data for sea ice thickness because I was using GPR, so I wanted to correlate my data. So we got that from Russian station. So that there it is. They celebrate all the festivals together. Like they come to our stations on Christmas and New Year, and then we also go to when the Chinese New Year is there. So our people go to their station. So like that, there that rivalry is not there. There all are one.
All right, perhaps the last question for the day. Abhilash, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. My question was regarding this kind of same thing. Like geopolitical tensions between countries is very visible here. Like from India, it's like neighboring. But when you go to a place like Antarctica, where the people are very less, like 22 people throughout your 6 months, and nearby people are also like on their own cocoon. So how this geopolitical conditions are affecting there? Is there any rivalry or any
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
things that are visible
Absolutely.
there?
There you can't keep any rivalry. See what happens. Like for example, I'll just tell you one thing. 4 years back, one of our one of the contingent person, he fell down and then he broke his back ribs or something like that. He was immediately, because our medical conditions are not very this thing. They are very primitive. But Chinese station had good because what happens every time different type of doctors will be there. So Chinese station had some I think that time some orthopedic was there. So our person was put up in Chinese station because you can't come out from there, and he fell down somewhere in June, July. Now the ship comes only in November or the first flight. So for those many months he was in the Chinese station only. So there, if you do the geopolitical rivalry, you cannot survive. They're all our friends only.
And ma'am, regarding
The
the
life is particularly in Maitri. Now, once the new station of Maitri comes, probably the life will be easy. But Maitri life is very tough. I remember no one has asked that what are the basic facilities, how we ease out ourselves. In Bharti, it's okay. Bharti is like our normal wet toilets, what we use. But Maitri, the toilets are dry toilets. And the dry toilets every day. Someone has to burn that using that we have to burn it, and that ash has to be collected in the container, or even there like the urine also has to be collected, and then when the drum is full it has to be kept aside, and then when the ship comes it goes back there. So one person has to do that job, and the person whose galley duty, they call is a galley duty, if they did the day your galley duty is there to burn the excreta, that day you can't even take food also. Absolutely. As I used to dread those morning hours. Morning 6 to 6:30 was my weeping day at Maitri. Once I'm free of morning duties and then I change into my gear, then whole day will pass fully again, waiting for the next day. And like what happens, like you are in there in that container. Now, if you keep the full door totally closed, it becomes airtight. You
Mm.
can't even open the door. So you keep it little gap, थोड़ा गैप रखते हो, और गैप रखा और रात को बर्फ आई तो पूरी की पूरी बर्फ कमरे के अंदर, आपका कमरा पूरा ठंडा। तो ये सब ऐसे बड़े टिपिकल प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं। बर्फ में चलने में वो पूरा कभी थोड़ा सा ये हुआ, पूरा धंस गए अंदर के अंदर पूरा के पूरा बस में। बाजू में दिख रहा है कि स्लोप है और जरा भी आपका पैर फिसला तो नीचे सीधे ओशियन दिख रहा है, और चलने में ही डर लगता था। वो तो बहुत, those were really some are the tough times. Whenever I remember तो एकदम कांटा खड़ा हो जाता शरीर पर कि अरे यार ये क्या था।
Thank
बट
you so
ठीक है, मजा किया।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for all the insights that you provided. I'm sure people had a lot more questions, and a lot of people have messaged in the group, in the NIT Raipur US group, that they would be viewing this on YouTube. Thank you so much for all your time, and we hope to have you sometime back again, sharing more experiences with us.
Yeah, favorite moment someone has asked. Favorite moment, as I mentioned, that when I saw the Indian tricolor flight day, that was my favorite moment. And the second favorite moment was when I could take the selfie with the penguin. That was the favorite moment of my life. I can never forget.
The pictures were really awesome.
Those,
The photos of aurora that you shared, that was very beautiful.
yeah, Aurora was not taken by me; it was by my other colleagues, because I was not there during the when the night was there. But yes, it's a beautiful place, no doubt about that. Uncertain, beautiful, challenging, life-threatening. Because last year, one student died there. He went there and then and so many. One thing which I was telling, just one sec. Like I told her, the training is very important. Like when they clearly say that the piston pulley, when the driver is driving, he cannot see behind. Okay, and when you have to sit in the piston pulley, there is a rotating like आपके जैसे टैंक में होता है ना, जैसे चक्का पूरा के पूरा वो उस टाइप से वो चेन है। तो आपको वो चेन के ऊपर चढ़ना है और फिर ऊपर आपको जो है वो चढ़ना है। तो आप जब भी चढ़ रहे हैं तो उन्होंने बताया था कि ड्राइवर को पता होना चाहिए कि आप चढ़ने वाले हैं। अदरवाइज क्या होगा, ड्राइवर ने यदि गाड़ी आगे बढ़ा दी पिस्टन पुली, तो आप यदि वो चक्के के ऊपर खड़े हैं, आप वो चक्के के नीचे आ जाएंगे। तो आपको हमेशा बताना, और ये हुआ भी है एक मतलब कुछ साल पहले वो चक्के के ऊपर खड़े थे और उन्होंने ड्राइवर को बताया नहीं, ड्राइवर ने गाड़ी चालू कर दी कि केम बिलो, लेकिन वो किसको कहते हैं ना, जाको राखे सैया मार सके ना कोई। वो नीचे पूरा इतना सॉफ्ट स्नो था कि वो उनके ऊपर से निकल गया और कुछ नहीं हुआ। लेकिन हर समय ऐसा नहीं होता। या उन्होंने कहा था कि जैसे आप जब पिस्टन बुली में पीछे से उतरते हैं तो तुरंत आप बाजू हो जाइए। तो हम लोग निकले उतरे और मैं मेरे कलीग को बोल रही हूँ बाजू हो जा बेटा, बाजू हो जा। मैं बाजू में हो गई, वो पीछे खड़ा हुआ और इंस्ट्रूमेंट का बैक पीछे खड़ा हुआ, और पिस्टन बुली चालू की उन्होंने। चालू होके सामने जाने की जगह वो रिवर्स आ गई।
Ah,
और पीछे पूरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट थे और वो बंदा खड़ा था। वो तो कूद गया क्योंकि वो एथलीट था, क्रिकेट खेलता था। मेरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स बिल्कुल जस्ट मेरा जो टफ बुक था, टफ बुक के ऊपर उसका ये आ गया, एक डेंट पड़ गया। तो थोड़ा सा, इट वाज अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकेंड, अदरवाइज मेरा सारा इंस्ट्रूमेंट 60 लाख का पूरा पानी में चला जाता पूरा।
अरे
सो बहुत ध्यान रखना पड़ता है जब वो आपको कोई चीज बताते हैं कि आपने ये नहीं करा।
जी, Majid sir, you
That
had
was
या
raised.
क्विक मैडम, ये जो आपने सारे जो वाकयात हैं, आप ये कोई किताब लिख रही हैं या लिख दिया ऑलरेडी?
इसके ऊपर लिखना है सर, इसके ऊपर लिखना है। बाकी अभी मैंने एक्चुअली 2 किताबें
जरूर
दूसरी
लिखिए।
लिखी हुई है हिंदी में। अंतरिक्ष खोज और दूसरी है सैटेलाइट नेविगेशन एंड इंट्रोडक्शन, उपग्रह नौ
जरूर
संचालन। अब इसके ऊपर लिखना है। अभी रिटायर अभी हुई हूँ, थोड़ा सा अभी समय के बाद अब लिखना चालू करूंगी।
जरूर लिखिए भाई, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। एंड आने वाली जनरेशन भी, दे विल गो थ्रू दिस, एंड इट इज अ हॉलमार्क फॉर आवर इंस्टीट्यूशन आल्सो। तो जरूर लिखिएगा, ये किताब जरूर लिखिएगा।
जरूर बिल्कुल, आई विल ट्राई माय लेवल, बस लिखना तो है ही।
जी
एंड आई विल सी कब लिख
ओके
सकती हूँ।
okay, thank you ma'am. And then guys, I think that's all I have, so all the best until the next and talk, Archit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much for making me part of you. Thank you, Mukul. Nice seeing you. Mukul and I share
Mukul
a
is our
bond and we
leader.
talk quite regularly.
Good. Mukul, thank you. Mukul.
Unfortunately, my own classmates are not there today.
Ah,
Batchmates.
Thank you, ma'am.
They will see you on YouTube.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you so much.
recording.
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.